The times they are a-changin'. More like, this show is never a-changin'. No, that was just awful. I am so sorry. So, The Times They Are Changeling just aired, and wow, if I could describe this episode in one single word, I would call it predictable. Just so predictable. So I guess first things first, for those of you who don't know, this episode's title is based off a 1964 Bob Dylan album called The Times They Are A-Changeling, which is actually pretty cool. There was also a card in the actual card game which had the text at the bottom saying, The Times They Are A-Changeling, which I think is pretty cool, and yes, I do own that card. Now, again, about talking about this episode being predictable, MLP has the habit of having the same sort of thing happen every episode. You go through all this random shit that happens in the episode, but it all amounts to the same ending. A good ending, that everyone's happy and nothing really major happens at the end of an episode. It just ends and we move into another day and another story. Why? Why should that happen with this episode, with such a big episode that's really been hyped up way too much? But anyway, what did I actually think of this episode? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the actual episode to see what I actually thought. So this episode opens with Twilight and Starlight actually traveling to the Crystal Empire in order to visit Flurry Heart and Sunburst. Now, Starlight is a little worried about falling behind in her friendship lessons, but Twilight assures her that she can learn friendship anywhere. And Spike's in disguise in a nearby seat because he doesn't want all the Crystal Ponies to pamper him because of his brave and glorious reputation all the way back from Season 3. So then we all arrive at the Crystal Empire, and of course, Spike thinks he can take off his disguise, and the Crystal Ponies appear to swarm him to death. Yeah, it's actually pretty funny. But of course, they begin to question whether Spike or Twilight or Starlight is a changeling, and so they go to the Royal Guards, who also think there could be changelings, before Princess Cadance is the only one who will give them the benefit of the doubt. By, of course, singing Sunshine, Sunshine, Ladybug's Awake, clap your hooves, and do a little shake. So obviously, everyone's worried because of what happened at Cadance and Shining Armor's wedding, so now they fear for Flurry Heart because, well, she holds all the love. She's probably going to be the new Princess of Love. Cadance is going to die, confirmed. So then, Spike goes off with the Royal Guards to search for the Changeling in the Arctic wastes around the Empire. So Spike commands them all to go in separate directions, and he falls into a deep chasm. How he didn't die in that fall, I will never know, because physics don't exist for some reason in this world. It's a cartoon. I don't know why I'm arguing with the physics of a cartoon show. So Spike finds the Changeling, who's pretending to be him, and he falls into the chasm, but the Changeling saves him, which, well, we saw in the promo anyway, so we all knew that. So the Changeling introduces himself as Thorax, and here comes my first disappointment of the episode. It's the fact that the Changeling's name is Thorax and not Kevin. Yes, we all thought it was Kevin because of the MLP CCG card. It's not Kevin, apparently it's Thorax. I don't even know if this is the same Changeling, but it is a bit disappointing to me that it's not that, so, you know, points off for that. So basically, this Changeling took part in the invasion of Cantor way back in Season 2, but he didn't really want to attack people, he wanted to share the love instead of stealing it, so he went out to search for friends, but he still has basic Changeling instincts to feed and hunt, which I honestly thought he would be battling that, and hopefully the evil side would come out in the end. I was so wrong. And of course, because Spike has this reputation among the Crystal Ponies, Spike offers to speak on Thorax's behalf. So then Spike goes and tells all the Royal Guards that, hey, this Changeling is my friend now, and then Shining Armor comes up to him being an absolute douchebag, saying there's no such thing as a nice Changeling. So Spike goes back to Thorax and gives him the bad news, but then Thorax turns into this interesting looking pony and tries to disguise himself as this character called Crystal Hoof, who I wonder is actually a real pony or not. That's going to be interesting. And basically Spike takes him out to mingle with the Crystal Ponies to actually make friends. So then Spike and Thorax then return to the palace to meet with Princess Cadance, and Cadance introduces Crystal Hoof to meet Flurry Heart. And then the love basically forces him to change into a changeling, and everyone starts fighting and running after him and trying to catch him, so he crawls back to his cave. So Spike returns to the cave, and the changeling doesn't really want to be friends anymore, obviously, so Spike falls again, and the Changeling saves him, and now they're friends again. And so Spike decides, I'm the hero of the Crystal Empire, so I will give all that up just to be friends with this new Changeling. So then he goes in and sings a phenomenal song. This song was actually my favourite part of the episode. It was so good. Kathy Weslock is by far one of my favourite singers on the show now. So good. I know she had a song on the Christmas album. It was the Jolly Old Saint Nick one, which I love to death. So I've been waiting for a Spike song for a while, and I did kind of guess that one would come up in this episode. Plus, they announced it at Comic-Con, so yeah. But that was really awesome. So basically, Twilight gives him the benefit of the doubt after that, and apparently now the Changeling is the resident of Crystal Empire, or is a resident of the Crystal Empire, which is interesting. So I wonder what they're going to do with that in the future. Overall, this episode for me was actually really good. After thinking it over, it was actually a really good episode, but at the same time, it did have parts that I was really disappointed with. And no, it wasn't just the Changeling's name not being Kevin, but mostly the one thing I didn't like about this episode was all the wasted potential that it had. This episode had the chance to go far, to be really great, and to be something that could be remembered in the show for a long time. It had something to really set up the season finale. It could have really set up something big. Maybe the Changeling could have been evil the whole time and then we get that big, awesome reveal at the end. Or maybe Chrysalis could be tracking them down and going there. For all I know, they've already set something big up with the episode itself, but I feel like there's so much wasted potential. They could have really set something really big up, and they've just blown it really with a nice happy ending, and I feel like that's such a shame. They could have gone far with this episode, and that really disappoints me. It wasn't a bad episode, and the song was phenomenal, but I just feel like all that wasted potential is now gone, and there's no way that they can get it back, which is a real shame. It's one of the downfalls of this episode, in my opinion. And yeah, it's just a real shame. That doesn't mean to say that I think Chrysalis won't come back. I totally still think Chrysalis is going to come back. Like, I still hold out a hope for the season finale, like something big will happen. Because what I feel like they're going to do with the season finale is I feel like the season 6 finale is going to lead directly into the movie. I mean, think about it. We have the season 6 finale, and then the next big thing coming up is the movie in 2017. As far as we know, there's no season 7 planned for anywhere in 2017, so until we get that announcement, my theory is that season 6 finale is going to lead into the movie, unless season 7 airs sometime before that, but I highly doubt that just because of, the way they're spending all this time on the movie. All their efforts are going onto the movie, so I don't think there's going to be a season 7 before that. So I feel like season 6 is going to lead directly into the movie, so anything that happens, it's going to be big. Trust me, it really has to be. I hope. And in addition to all that, there were just some parts of this episode that, in my reaction anyway, I wasn't talking because some parts of this episode just, to be perfectly honest, bored me. There wasn't really anything going on that really interested me that much, and while it was a good episode, some of the parts, or a couple of scenes anyway in the episode, just kind of bored me. But anyway, the next episode is Dungeons and Discords, which is one I'm looking forward to. We haven't actually had a Discord episode this season, so this is going to be interesting, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. But overall, I'm going to give this episode a B. It was actually quite good after thinking about it quite a bit, because when I try to figure out what grade I'm going to give the episode, I think about this a lot. I think about everything from the aesthetic of the episode, to the pacing, to the characters, to the song, if there's a song in it, and everything that could be in an episode is thought about when making the grade. So when thinking about this, I really did put the song into context and a lot of the characters and some of the scenes, and yeah, it gets a B, and honestly, it deserves a B. It was great, but not so great that it was worth all. It wasn't worth the hype. Seriously, I am quite disappointed in myself that I hyped it up so much. It wasn't worth the hype. So yeah, this episode wasn't perfect in any way, but that doesn't mean to say it was bad. It was actually really good. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my review for the Times They Are Changeling. Honestly, my main thing for this episode was all the wasted potential that they had. They had the chance to set something up for a future episode or even the season finale, and honestly, they kind of blew it. Some people might not agree with me, and that's fine, but that's just the way I see it in my own opinion. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.